Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Right up front, good news. His E skill got a huge damage buff.
Faro_TV.
Faro TV.
Faro FM radio.
Faro TV.
Oh no, not Faro.
Now, what do I mean when I say his E skill got a huge damage buff? Well, his skill damage of 209% on level 8 has stayed the same. However, the, for me, more exciting part of this ability is the Transient Blossom damage is 214% defense. What we knew was 151%. So this is a pretty damn large buff. More than an entire third of the defense damage applied by his E skill over the 30 seconds it is there is pretty big. And to be honest, in my opinion, his E skill is kind of the coolest to me, just because well, it scales of defense. It's like it could be built on defense and it would be artifacts. We have so many of them. We have so many defense artifacts and so little attack percentage or crit damage or crit or geo damage and whatnot. So it would be cool to build one from that. However, here's the catch. That's the only ability that scales of defense. On top of that, sadly, I have to announce he is very, very weak when it comes to auto attacking. And I have the proof. The proof is in the numbers, I guess. I obviously, as I like to do, I prepared some numbers. Let me pull them up. All right, here we have the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. I have used for this example Keqing, who is someone that is auto attacking on the field constantly because she has good stats that come with her, and compare her with Albedo, just making the case he's not someone you want to swing your sword with too much. So first of all, his base attack, which is the attack that will scale later on with the attack percentage, which makes the base attack so important, is way lower than Keqing. It is actually higher than John and higher than 4-star sword fighters, but compared, if like, I'm pretty sure you have someone there who will scale better with that, because it's not only his low base attack that is lacking, it is also his auto attack multipliers. Now I checked, they're pretty much kind of the same when they're done, so it counts how much percentage of damage are we getting through in a full combo. And also there, if we compare Keqing with him, she has much more percent damage than he does. So there is obviously both of them would be using a 4-star sword, level 90, which has a 510 base attack on top of that. And then what you do afterwards is you would take this number, the base damage, and multiply it with however much percentage you have. On a side note, he gains geo damage when leveled up, which is also not beneficial to his auto attacks in any way. And when both of them would just get 100% bonus attack damage from artifacts, or maybe even from swords, whatever you're wearing with them, they would be multiplied with their total auto attack damage they do in one combo. And this here, right here, is the raw damage, and the difference is big. As you can see, it is quite something that Keqing puts out more than Albedo. And of course, this gap will only widen the higher the equipment is. So if they both crit for the same crit damage value, obviously this will turn into more than this, and so on and so on. So it's just stacking up. Same with physical damage runes and whatever. However, that is not a problem. Not everyone needs to be the auto attacker. We also want people who spawn some awesome shit on the field, and then we take out our Keqing or our Diluc or whatever you guys are using. But here is why I don't like that in his case specifically, and that is he's got such a juicy ability with defense percentage, you know? And when I have someone who's just a bulwark, who can stand on the field, I would also kind of like to use him on the field, you know? However, that doesn't make really sense if he is that much lower in his consistent damage that he uses. So he's a support unit that builds defense, but you can't really utilize the defense too much. So, and only the one skill is scaling on defense, which probably just means you won't build defense on him and use him kind of as a switch-in nuker while he's not on the field. And I just feel sad about that whenever it is a character that is building from tanky stats. I would kind of like to swing around with them. I feel like the attack-based stat character are those you switch in, blast the field, and then you switch to your tank to bulk up, which is why I love Noelle so much, you know? She is on the field, she scales with defense, her ultimate swings around her damage with defense, you know, giant AoE, defense damage applied, you know, while she can also transfer her defensive stats with her shield to another unit. And that works for me better, makes more sense for character building than this one does in Albedo's case. So, with this huge buff that we have here, the question is, can we really utilize it? Obviously, this is a buff no matter what, even if we just use our base defense and some random stats that we have applied on our artifacts, but can we even use it in like a meaningful way? The most interesting thing for me for now is how incredibly much energy he regenerates. Take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because to showcase this character, they have given him the Favonius Sword, which gives an energy recharge of 55.9%. If you want to see the entire stats, always look those up and not be fooled. Insane crit rate. They gave him a crit rate artifacts here to go to 50%. I mean, with insane, I mean compared to his very lackluster other stats that they gave him, he has quite a lot of crit rate. So on here, the energy recharge 160%, so that's why he creates so much energy. And I do believe he could be monstrous with Zhongli, and I'll show you why. Because he generates Geo like no one else. So this is a really cool ability. Giant AoE, absolutely gigantic AoE. Check it out. Boom. All of them constantly hit. Let's go a little bit more far back. All of them still hit. And now we can use anyone in this field for 30 seconds. Click. Boom. That's the defense trigger right there. That's the defense damage. Boom. Every 2 seconds we are able to activate this, and that's a big deal. What you can also find out in this specific area is that shields, damaging the shield, does not trigger this ability. Well, it's hard to do when there's... Okay, but let's throw the ult. Boom. That ultimate is definitely pretty epic. And is it full again? Yes, it is. It is automatically full. Like all the time. Let's go.
Witness my great undertaking.
Okay. And he also only has like 40 energy regeneration, but you could just use this. You could combine it with Zhongli's pillars, and you guys will be spamming ultimates like madmen. But now, what I said earlier, if you attack shields, it doesn't get triggered. You actually have to deal damage. You see? Okay, now we deal damage to the small slime, and the defense was applied. The defense damage, the defense percentage damage was applied. So I guess for me personally, I really like this guy. I really am digging him. Compared to the upcoming characters with Ganyu and Xiao, he's more my playstyle. I do not like how I really do not like how plunge attacks feel, especially with those guys here, spear users. For some reason, it seems to me as if there's like a little delay in between with them specifically. So I don't like Xiao, even though he's supposed to be this amazing damage dealer. But I don't care too much for those amazing damage dealers anyway. I like cool gameplay, and this guy definitely delivers for me on that part. I don't really get this shit here. Like, what the fuck? Is this just activating a Geo construct for Zhongli to mess with, or what is this? I don't fucking know what the purpose of this is. It is at least not really in synergy with Albedo himself, not at all. I don't fucking get it. Like, I absolutely don't get it. Where the... Oh, yeah, he fell down. So did we. What do I say in like first statement? Absolutely cool character. Love when character scales of something else than attack damage. However, sadly, his ultimate does not scale of defense. If his ultimate would scale on defense, it would be super cool. I really love the Zhongli treatment that he get, that everything scales of health. That is nice. His is a mad multiplier on level 8, 200%, 214% is damn epic. So I would say, guys, I personally am aesthetics over power in this game because power is not really needed. We can play everything with everyone anyway. Like, I can solo the entire game with Noelle almost. I feel like she is just a tank. Yeah, maybe I'm not fast enough in the Abyss with her. Okay, I'll give you guys that. But you get the idea. It's not that important to have crazy damage in this game. Unless you're a sucker for high numbers, you know, in the MMOs you always play the rogue and have to tell the chat about your most recent crit, you know. hey, if that's what gets your heart, man, that's cool. You do you. I like diverse gameplay. I feel he's kind of fun. He's kind of nukey, smashing down AoE on the floor constantly. That is fun in my opinion. He also is incredibly good when it comes to supporting your units, because this field is there to stay for 30 seconds. So, and it's in a gigantic range, so you can basically place this guy, boom, 30 seconds long, his damage is applied to the field, and the damage is obviously pretty good. If we like think about, like, my Noelle is at 2,400 defense. If you should play him for that alone, I feel like if you play him for that alone, he's probably not worth to summon as a 5-star unit. That's just me. We're talking not really constellations here, to be honest, but his constellations aren't too crazy. More energy regeneration for Albedo. He's regeneration like crazy as well. This one here is the big deal. The big deal. Just read for yourself. Transient Blossoms generated by Biogenesis. Solar Isotoma, Grand Albedo, Fatal Reckoning for 30 seconds. Each stack of Fatal Reckoning increases damage by 30% of Albedo's defense. And there we go. You need him 3 times so that his kit scales with defense. And that is a goddamn bummer. No one in their right mind should summon a character 3 times unless you're a YouTuber with a lot of views who can afford it. But this is the make or break kind of thing, you know. If this works as I think it does, then he's a monster. This is where he can be an absolute monster. So wait for the guys who have the money on YouTube and look specifically for what they're saying about Constellation 2. And, well, maybe you can spend all your Primogems that you ever saved on this guy and have a monster. That's a possibility. We'll see about that. I hope you enjoyed this kind of first view of Albedo, showing you that he's not an auto attacker but a great support and nuker with some interesting capabilities and can turn into a monster on Constellation 2. I see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Pharaoh out. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. I would appreciate it. Goodbye.